Hey, this is Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast. And in this episode, I'm doing something a little different. I've decided to do something very specific and intentional for you guys, and that is talking publicly about mindset. Now, I teach a lot of mindset to my clients, and having the right mindset is absolutely foundational to achieving anything in life, which is why I've decided to do a 4-part mindset series on the podcast for you all, because like I said, this is foundational. And without the right mindset, you won't get very far on your journey to buying a website business and growing a website business. And I'm certain that there's so many of you listening who want to buy a website but haven't, or you feel like you can't, or you've been sitting on the fence for a while and hanging about for any number of reasons. One of them may be that you don't know how to run or grow the business once you bought it as well. And I have no doubt it's because you haven't set the foundations first by collapsing a solid mindset for yourself to participate in this journey. So this is part 4 in the 4-part series, right? So if you haven't listened to part 1, 2, and 3, go back and listen to them all first. Part 1, I talk about the one thing that every website investor has that you don't, and how to get that one thing. Then in part 2, I talk about how to become a confident website investor by mixing in what you learn from part 1. And I also talk about the 3 C's of achievement, right? And I break down and explain that in part 2. And then in part 3, I talk about what stops most people from buying a website business. So if you're listening to this and you haven't heard the previous parts, stop. Go back and start from part 1, because you'll more than likely find it hard to follow what I'm talking about, as I reference back to these episodes a lot. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how to run and grow the website business you just bought, based all on mindset, and how to have the right mindset to do this. I won't be talking all about SEO or digital marketing tactics. I will be talking about the foundations of having the right mindset, which will allow you the strength to put time, energy, and money towards those things that will grow your business. Today's episode is brought to you by us here at Buying Online Businesses. Let me ask, if you have an online business, have you ever thought of selling it? We're a thriving community of website investors who are cashed up and hungry to buy your online business. Our members are well trained in online business due diligence, allowing you a quick sale of your business. And because we only want to provide a better service to our members, we're opening up the doors to allow you to sell your online business to us free of charge. So if you have an online business that's making a minimum net profit of $5,000 per year, and you're thinking of selling your business, head over to our Sell Your Business page at buyingonlinebusinesses.co/sell your business. There will be a link in the show notes, and you can also find this page from our site, buyingonlinebusinesses.com. That's buyingonlinebusinesses.com. So I want to highlight this because I know a lot of you listening are thinking, okay, cool, I can buy a site, but what happens when I bought it? I've never owned a website business, and how will I know what to do? How will I be able to run it? And how will I be able to grow it? Firstly, how do you learn to run the website? Well, this starts as soon as you own the website. And no, you won't be all on the deep end in your own. You will not be on your lonesome, because when you buy a website, we make sure that you get the training from a professional who's run the exact business you just bought, and probably even started that business from scratch themselves too. That's right. After you buy a website business, you can schedule some training calls with the seller of that business to teach you everything you need to know on how to run the site, and also even their growth strategies as well. So depending on the website business you buy, sometimes there's owners that will give you their whole marketing plan and give you their whole marketing strategy and what they're doing. And you can even have the whole team come along with you as well, and they'll teach you how to run a team and what tasks you need to check and all that sort of stuff. So the cool thing is that you get this education right from the horse's mouth. And I feel like a lot of people forget about this pivotal piece of training along their journey, or before they even go to buy a website, because it can be scary, right? And thinking, oh, like, no, what happens when I own the site? What am I going to do? And I totally get that. But I don't want you to forget. I want you to remember this specifically, that this training, you will get training on how to run the site. And just knowing this alone, becoming conscious of that, will allowing yourself to receive this information and become conscious of that too, will hugely benefit you and ease your mind when you do come to own a site, because you have somebody who's going to teach you what you need to do to run it. And I know even still, you may have never owned a website business before. So what if something happens? And what if you want to grow it, right? Which I have no doubt that you do. And in fact, I highly suggest you do just that too. And this is where the mindset series comes to life. This is where it becomes real magic. Everything you learned in part 1, 2, and 3, because you've already been through the journey once. You've already bought your first website business. And now you've achieved that vision, that part of your vision of you owning a website. It will be quite surreal, but those who struggle once they've bought their first website will be the ones who forgot about their vision and forgot about the 3 C's to achievement. And since you've completed one life cycle of that, probably many more in your life in other examples. But if you want to grow the website you just bought, you need to complete this life cycle again. It's time to start from the beginning and become really focused on your vision of how you want the business to look, what you're going to do to grow it, and what life will provide you, what that vision will be. We're doing a full loop here, guys. We're doing a full circle, right? So only then, once you've got that vision, can you go through this process again, becoming committed enough to proceed forward to grow the business. And yes, you may have some setbacks, or things may take a little longer than expected, and you'll be challenged. But if that challenge overcomes you, it's because your vision isn't strong enough to commit to overcoming that challenge yourself and being courageous enough to stay on the path to get to that point where you are a confident website owner and confidently growing the website business. And like I've mentioned before, this is easier said than done. And also very silly to go this path alone, just like it's silly to buy a website on your lonesome without a guide, which we talked about in part 3. The same goes if you want to grow your website, you should have a guide. So what I want to do now is I want to paint a picture for you, right? I want to paint a picture that's going to allow this to be super clear for you guys in how we're coming back and doing a full circle and everything we learned from part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, and recycling that and doing that again and again and again. And you should always continue to do this again and again and again with any goal or anything you're looking to achieve. So as the story starts, many years ago, I had already bought one of my website businesses and I'm looking at buying another website business, right? So I go through and I have bought my second website business. At this time, I bought my second website business and I'd just been through that life cycle of the vision and the 3 C's to achievement of what it would be like to have my second website business. And after buying this second website business, something happened. I felt like I was a little out of my league. I became quite confident buying websites, but because this website was an e-commerce business, I didn't know that much about digital marketing or paid ads. I was great at SEO and content marketing, but paid ads, man, and building this business, it just felt like it was out of my league, which of course caused me to question myself and ask myself, am I going to be able to grow this business? So then I became worried and not confident at all. I just didn't believe in myself at the time. And that's when this all clicked for me. I realized I was so good at completing this life cycle and buying websites, but not growing them. And as soon as I got to this new stage, I didn't have a clear vision of how much I wanted to grow the business and what size I wanted to grow that business to. How much work would I spend on the business, or how little would I spend on the business, and how much time would I spend traveling? I had no vision on this at all, which meant I was doubting myself. And also, I wasn't committed. I had no vision. So how could I move to the 3 C's of achievement, right? I wasn't committed. So how could I be right when I didn't have anything to commit to, right? How could I become confident? How could I grow the business when I didn't have any commit to? So I stopped and I started this whole journey again. I was far from confident in SEO and digital marketing and everything it takes to grow an online business like I am now. And that's because I wasn't committed to becoming great at these things because I had no vision on that. But as you can see, I quickly formed the vision and that made me super committed. And I learned so much about online business to the point where I'm talking to you right now about all of this sort of stuff. I'm teaching, I'm coaching, I'm a river guide down this path of buying website businesses and also down the path to growing online businesses with many people in my community and within my mastermind. And yes, of course, there were some challenges along the way, and I struggled. And still, I always have challenges, and any business owner does, and any human being that's going through life has those challenges. There was also times that I thought, will this work? Right? But if I really wanted my vision to work, I had to make it work, right? I had to be committed. I had to become courageous. I had to learn all the stuff that I needed to become confident to be where I'm at today. And sometimes I didn't know what to do, or I'd get stuck, not know where to go. And this happens to all of us, right? Getting stuck, not knowing where to go, happens to every single one of us in business and in life. And do you want to know what the difference between someone who truly makes it and achieves their goals and someone who doesn't, outside of having a vision? Is those who reach out for help. I honestly would have never have grown to where I'm at today without a river guide at certain paths along my journey. So if you're dead set serious about wanting to buy a website business and grow it, you should have someone to help you navigate those waters and point out the dangers, and not just the strategies to prevent when you're growing your business, which could be risky and could unfold, but the strategies on how to grow the business so it flourishes in an evergreen way to a point that you are living that vision that you had envisioned of you owning that business, running and growing it. And a guide can come in many ways. For example, people who are a part of the Bob community, our buying online business community, don't just learn how to buy a site, they learn how to grow it with the trainings and the advice from myself and others within the group, which is an excellent option. Then there's those people who want to achieve absolutely excellent results in a shorter time frame and don't just need more trainings and information. They just need a better strategy with a seasoned business owner who knows the clear path to grow, those types of business for each specific business. This is what I do in my inner circle mastermind, though there are only a few spots available for that type of coaching, and it is intensive coaching. But whether you want to buy a website, whether you want to grow your online business or achieve any goal, what I suggest you do is to not do it alone. Follow this process, have your vision, go through the 3 C's to achievement, and have somebody as a river guide on your path to buying and growing your website business. So find someone who's been down that path you want to go, right? Someone who has had the success you want to have, who has done this over and over. Find that person and work with them. Lean on them and allow them to guide you so you don't have to make the same mistakes they did. And if that's you and you want to buy a website or grow your online business, check out how I help people do both of those things in the buying online business community and in the inner circle, right? It's on my site. You can see all the links to all that stuff. And before I wrap up this whole mindset series, there is a caveat I must share with you, which is that everything you have learned and we have talked about through this 4-part mindset series is very simple in theory. You know the phases, right? You understand and you get them. You know you need to go through those phases. You know you need to have that vision and it has to be very clear, but there is work to be done. You will need to roll up your sleeves and take action, because I've said this before, but to know and not do is to not know. Just like you can't read how to ride a bike, right? And say you know how to ride a bike, you can't just read about it in theory. First, you must go and ride that bike, fall down, scratch yourself, and do that a few times over and over before you can confidently say that you can ride a bike. So that's it, guys, for this mindset series. I hope you got a ton of value. And if you can think of anyone who wants to make money in the online space or just wants to achieve any goal, please do them a massive favor and share this 4-part mindset series with them, because it's changed my life. It's changed all of my clients' lives. And anyone who wants to achieve anything needs to know this process. So do them a massive favor. Think about 2 to 3 people you can send this to and send them this 4-part mindset series so they don't have to give up on their goals in the periods where they may struggle. So that's it for me, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.